Hey guys, Justin Bryant here from selfmadesuccess.com, and in this video I'm going to show you 11 digital marketing tips and tricks for your business, whether you have a traditional brick and mortar business like a restaurant, or if you have a digital business that's all online like a blog. This is going to work for you. It's going to help you build trust, get more traffic, get more potential clients, and get more sales. So the first thing I recommend you do is you show off your credibility indicators. This is things like accomplishments, recognition, things like that that you can use to get people to trust that you know what you're talking about, to trust that your business is trustworthy, and to show your audience that you actually have experience and that you've done very well in this industry, so that they feel comfortable buying whatever it is you're selling. So I did a post called How to Establish Yourself as an Authority Figure Online. I recommend you read through this to find out how to establish this trust and this credibility. So a few things: certifications, awards. You'll notice Jeff Bullis, if you go to his Twitter profile, he displays the recognition he's gotten from top brands. Speak at universities. Tim Ferriss is a big believer in this tactic. Read the 4-Hour Workweek. He tells you all about it. Speak on stage and take professional pictures. You'll notice if you go to Frank Kern's Facebook page, he has a picture of himself speaking in front of thousands of people. This makes him look like an expert. Social proof. If you have blog posts with tons of shares, if you have income reports like Entrepreneur on Fire showing you make a lot of money, that really builds credibility. Things like that. Go through the rest of the post and it'll go through all the different things you can do to establish credibility. If you do this, you'll get more sales, more people will trust what you're saying, and will take you more seriously. Number 2, declutter all landing pages and blog posts. And what I mean by this is get rid of the sidebars, have more white space, and center the offer or whatever it is that the page is meant for in the middle of the page. So this is a blog post. People go to a blog post and search results because they want to read it, because they want the information within it. So a blog that is one of the top ones in SEO and marketing, Moz.com, they completely got rid of all the clutter on the sides of their blog. So now when you go to their blog post, it's easy to read, it's easy to have your focus right in the middle of the page, and it makes people want to stay longer because it's user friendly and it's clean. It's easy to focus on what they want to focus on. Otherwise, if you have all this stuff all over the place, your focus gets scattered and people just leave because it just isn't good for user friendliness. So get rid of all the clutter on your pages. If you have a place where people are supposed to subscribe to a newsletter in the middle of the page, make that the central point. Have that in the middle, have a lot of white space around it. If you have a blog, have a lot of white space around the text in the middle. Don't have a bunch of stuff all over the place taking away from their focus. Number 3, focus on Facebook advertising instead of Google or Bing. The reason you want to focus on Facebook advertising is because it's cheaper than Google, and it's got more traffic than Bing, and it has more targeting than both of them combined. So if you want to be able to target people based off of more in-depth categories like their age, gender, languages, location, celebrities they like, magazines they read, and things like that, you want to use Facebook advertising. You can't target those types of personal things on search engines. So do your Facebook ads, forget about Google and Bing. You don't need to do all of them, just be good at one of them, and Facebook is going to be the most beneficial for you. If you read this post on Digital Marketer called The Complete Guide to Facebook Ad Targeting, it'll go all over how to do the best job targeting your target audience. Number 4, publish fresh content for your website weekly, if not more. The more you post, the more you look like an authority site, the more you will rank and the more traffic you will get. So you'll notice somebody like Entrepreneur.com is one of the major industry leaders in entrepreneurship and business. I actually counted how many posts they do per day on this blog or on this website. They actually do between 40 and 50 posts per day on average on this site. So imagine being able to publish 40 or 50 quality articles to your targeted audience per day. That would make you an authority figure very quickly. It would make your blog an authority in search engines, and you would be getting tons of traffic all over the place. So the more you can publish, the better. Obviously, you can't do all that by yourself. Entrepreneur has a lot of guest bloggers, and you can hire people to write. You can get guest bloggers. You can maybe share ad revenue with people who write for you. You can do all kinds of different things, but the more you publish quality content, the better. Now, if you're going to publish more and the quality of your content's going to suffer, don't do it. Publish as much as possible while keeping the quality high. So, the more you publish, the better. Number 5, optimize all website content for SEO using white hat, not black hat strategies. So there's a difference in types of SEO. So SEO, of course, allows you to rank in search engines, getting you traffic to your website. Black hat is when you cut corners and you take shortcuts and do a lot of sketchy things that are of questionable legality and can get you in a lot of trouble with search engines if you get caught, because you're trying to rig the system in your favor. Now, white hat is when it's all about user friendliness. It's all about helping search engines learn what your stuff is about. It's all about helping people read your content and get what they want. So white hat will last long term. Black hat will get you in lots of trouble and is way too high risk to ever do. So you'll notice that Google has come out with a lot of updates over the last 10 years, and that's because they're trying to get rid of all this black hat stuff and reward companies that do things the right way. So you need to know what that is. You need to know what white hat strategies are. Moz.com has a beginner's guide to SEO for you. It's 10 chapters. Read through that and it will tell you how to get started with SEO and the best way to get through that. There's also other great blogs that cover SEO, like Quicksprout.com, maybe Kissmetrics, although they kind of steer more on the analytics and blogging side, but they'll give you some SEO tips. Backlinko is another one, but you need to learn how to do SEO, just do it the right way, and that's a great resource for you to check out. Number 6, be a data-driven business and master analytics. So analytics will get you to a whole new level faster than anything else, because analytics are what tell you what's working and what's not. If you don't know the numbers, you can't streamline your process. Okay, so if you have a blog and half of your articles are not getting any traffic, and 2% of them are getting tons of traffic, you need to capitalize on what you're doing in the top 2%, and you need to get rid of that bottom 50% of whatever types of articles you're doing, because they're not working. So therefore you waste less time and you make more money by working more on things that work. But you don't know what works and what doesn't if you don't know the analytics. So there's a post on Kissmetrics.com called The Ultimate Guide to 150 Plus Google Analytics Resources, and it tells you the best channels for finding out more about Google Analytics, the best tools that integrate with Google Analytics that you can use, and the best articles that will tell you the top strategies for Google Analytics. So there's also Kissmetrics analytics, there's also Crazy Egg, which is like a heat map type of analytics, but Google Analytics is free and it'll have more than you ever need, most likely. So get good at Google Analytics, go to this post and leverage all the resources on it, and you will be well on your way to streamlining your business. Number 7, have a video strategy for constant growth. Okay, so you need to constantly be growing your video strategy by having a video channel, having videos instead of long form sales pages on your website, whether it's when you're trying to capture leads or when you're trying to sell a product. You need to use video instead of a bunch of text, because video is what the future is, and it's growing faster than anything else. So there's a post on HubSpot.com that talks about 31 video marketing statistics to inform your strategy. It's an infographic that gives you the statistics that will definitely blow your mind and show you why you need to work on video as soon as possible. So here's a few of them. YouTube reports mobile video consumption rises 100% every year. So video is one of the best ways to consume content on smartphones. So it's hard to read tiny print for some people on phones, so a lot of times videos do very well. It's growing 100% every year. Including a video on a landing page increases conversions by 80%. So instead of having a long form sales letter, you can do a video, put all the same content in it, and it will convert much better. Video in an email leads to 200 to 300% increase in click-through rates. I mean, video is everything. People just like consuming content video wise much better than just reading. It's more engaging. It is easier to consume because it establishes our visuals, and it establishes our hearing. It uses more of our senses when consuming it. So millennials are huge. They're big into video. There's over 1 billion views a month in YouTube for a reason. Millennials and younger generations are going more and more towards video, so you need to use video in your marketing. Number 8, automate perfected processes. Okay, so there's a few different tools I'm going to show you for automation, but first, before I show you them, you need to know that your process is working and that it's not going to have a bunch of flaws in it before you automate it. So you start out doing things manually. Because you want to actually know what you're doing before you try and automate it, or before you try and outsource it. If you try to outsource something that you know nothing about, you can't explain to outsourcers what exactly you want and give them a template. If you want to create a piece of software to automate a process and you don't actually know everything about it, or you're not sure if it'll work completely by itself, you can't rely on that. So make sure the process is perfected, otherwise you'll just magnify all the flaws. So once you have a process down that works pretty much every time in the exact same order every time, and it's just something you always having to repeat, you can automate it using technology. For instance, you can use ifttt.com, which is something that stands for if this then that, which basically takes a formula and applies it to YouTube, WordPress blogs, daily motion videos, even parts of your house like your air conditioning and stuff like that, to automate it however you want to automate it. So you can automate things that you're constantly having to do manually through this website. So do stuff like that. For instance, I promote some of my content through this website. Another thing you can do is Hootsuite. Hootsuite allows you to automate social media marketing. So you can automate the posts you do on Google Plus, on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. So you don't have to constantly log on and post something manually every time you want to post something on social media. Plus, you get the analytics to go with it. Plus, you can also put all your personal messages in one place. There's a lot of different ways that you can leverage these tools, but these are just two of the many you can check out. IFTTT and Hootsuite can really help you start saving time and automating things that need to be automated. Number 9, be known for quality. So if you're not having quality content, quality products, quality services, the word of mouth will not be good. And the best way to sell anything is through word of mouth, because people trust what their friends, family, and co-workers tell them about a business. So if you say stumble upon an article on the internet and it tells you to buy something, you're probably going to hesitate and not do it because you don't know enough about it yet. But if your friend tells you to go buy something because they had a good experience with it, then you're probably going to give more consideration to buying it. So quality is very important, and the way you get more sales is by having something that over delivers. So when you promise something, give more than what it's worth, and people will love you for it. It will have more customer retention, long-term relationships with customers who will buy multiple products for you in the future, and word of mouth will be great. So there's an article on smallbusiness.cron.com, and they talk about things like customer expectations, reputation, meeting standards, costs, the good and the bad of quality and what it gets you. So read that over if you're not sure how high a quality you should focus on, and it will definitely give you some clarity. Number 10, you want to start out in a small niche and expand as you grow. So if you have a business, you want to specialize in something first and then grow outward. So for instance, somebody asked this on Quora. It was a really interesting question about what are some startups that started in a small niche and developed into bigger markets as they grew. So you want to be the big fish in a small pond before you end up just being a small fish in a big pond. You want to be the best in a small niche, make a lot of money, and use that money to reinvest and grow. So Pinterest did this, for instance, one of the biggest social media sites around, and they started off as a place for women to showcase wedding gowns and stuff like that. Now they're one of the biggest social media sites and picture sharing sites in the world. Cisco started off just doing nothing but Ethernet adapters and things like that. Now they've grown to a worldwide brand. There's all these different examples. Facebook kind of started out as just a university thing where people shared photos. Now it's the second biggest site in the world, not far behind Google. So, there's a lot of different examples of companies that started off in a small niche and then grew as they built more income and got more help. So start off small, be the big fish in the small pond, and specialize in something, get really good at it. Don't just start out as a jack of all trades. Number 11, last but not least, watch for patterns of industry leaders. So you're going to have competition no matter what you're doing, no matter how small your niche is, unless you're just completely inventing something that no one's ever done before, which would be hard to do. But if you're doing pretty much any type of business, you're going to have competition. You're going to be noticing that there are big leaders in every industry, and what you can do to be more like them and to have the success that they have is to realize success leaves clues. You don't have to reinvent the wheel every time, as Tony Robbins would say. So for one thing I did that I would recommend is you go to Twitter. If you have a Twitter account, you can create a list. You go to your profile and create a list, and you can add the top influencers in your industry and study the things that they do. Study how they write, how they do video content, how they create products, how they leverage their certifications and their authority, how they do interviews, how they market themselves, and how they spend their time bettering themselves, what kind of books they read. All kinds of stuff you can learn from the top people in every industry, and you need to be studying them daily. So I would recommend using Twitter for this because you can create a list. For instance, I created one for influencers in entrepreneurship and marketing, and I have people like Tim Ferriss and Jeff Bullis, John Lee Dumas on here. Some of these people, you can really look up to and learn a lot from. So do this for whatever industry you're in. Study the best of the best and find patterns between them that can help make you successful. So if you got something from this video, if you feel like you learned something, please like and subscribe so I can create more videos like this for you and help your marketing efforts. If you want to let me know about a strategy you thought I should have included and didn't, or you want to let me know what you thought about the video, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And if you want to get more in-depth blog posts and things like this, tools and resources that you can actually use, you can go to selfmadesuccess.com. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you have a great day.